Yes, 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 yes. Namaste, man. Welcome back to the channel. What's up? So we're getting back. I'm putting my focus back on this 17 steps, okay? 17 steps came to me from this book, The Science of Getting Rich. This book was written in 1905. I've said that before, by a gentleman named Wallace Wattles. Now, this was an interesting character because he was a registered socialist most of his life and didn't even have any money until he was much older. Beautiful out today, huh? Nice weather. Well, when the book was written in 1905, or is it 1911? I think it's 1905. It was broke down into 17 chapters. Now, as I began to work with this content and use it because I've loved it, this book has been a huge influence on my life, just on mindset, just the way that I decided to think or try to make myself default to. Chapter number 1, I have a right to be rich. That's just saying, look, Gerald, you have as much right as anybody else. If you put in the work, you put in the effort, you develop the skill sets, you have the talent, you do the do, you're an ambassador of opportunity. If you get out there and push yourself into the universe, then you deserve your reward. That there's not some institution, that there's not some God, that you're not somehow doing something wrong. And this is what Wallace is going to try to set up. So he's going to try to go from chapter 1 to chapter 17, and you just have this mind shift of at least making the mind part of the equation, pushing it in your favor by the way you think. Because you can think certain ways and hurt yourself, cause undue stress, or it could cause physical pain. Meaning you could worry about stuff that maybe you don't need to be worrying about, and you can't shake it. That could actually show up in your life physically, make you sick, right? So we know the power of the mind. So he just wants to be clear. Whatever made chapter 1, and we're not going to go through all of these, but I want to touch on it so you can see what we've done so far in the first 5 steps. Remember, the17steps.com. Whatever may be said of praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete and full life unless one is rich. No one can rise to his greatest possible height in talent or soul development unless he has the use of plenty of money. For to unfold the soul and develop talent, he must have use of things. He cannot have these things unless he has money to buy them. He's just trying to say, listen, it is natural to want more money. That you feel in you, and he's going to set this up, is actually from nature. That it's your responsibility to have more, ultimately, so that you can help other people. I mean, this is, he's talking about God here. He was a Christian, but, Buddha, whatever it is you believe. Shit, I said before, if you don't believe in God, you get to make one up. And what he's saying is you have a right. So the God you make up says you have a right. A man develops in mind, soul, and body by making use of things. And society is so organized that a man must have money in order to become a possessor of things. And so he's just saying, listen, this needs to be part of your thought process, part of your daily thing, right? There's 3 steps, they say. Health, wealth, and mindset. That we should put our focus on a little bit of each of those, and I should follow my own advice. At times, things can come at you in life and derail you financially, or come at you in life and derail you physically, or come in, like through a car accident, or you get hurt at work, or come in your life and weigh on your mind. And so we're fighting this battle of the 2 things, health, wealth, and mindset. And usually people will have it right, and they'll be killing it in one area, okay in another, and struggling in another. Or maybe, one of those areas of health, wealth, and mindset come easier to you. But they're all part of this equation, this idea of building wealth, of growing, of getting more, taking our business to a higher level, taking our stock trading to a higher level, being committed to the process of being an investor because of our mindset and the way we've been, conditioning our mind, like we control our mind. So chapter 2 starts, there is a science to getting rich. It's an exact science, like algebra or arithmetic, meaning what he's saying here is, listen, it's duplicatable. If anyone, you're going to see him say this later in the book, if anyone in your area can get rich, so can you. If anyone in your area can run a delivery business, so can you. Or a restaurant, so could you, right? Now, there might be limitations and there might be things keeping you out. But ultimately, if you had the money, you could do the same thing. You could compete. There is no God, you're going to see him say, there is no institution or system that's going to stop you. There are certain laws that govern the process of acquiring riches, and once these laws are learned and obeyed by any man or woman, he or she will get rich with mathematical certainty. Time, times amount times yield, millionaire code. 3 component parts that we can influence. Now time, we don't know how much time we get, but back to that health, wealth, and mindset equation, if we're working on the health, it leans toward the idea that maybe we'll get a little bit more time. So maybe we have more control over time than we thought, but also we deal with uncertainty and fate. Car wrecks, diseases, things happen. Maybe I die tomorrow. Maybe I die tomorrow and this is the last work I have, right? This is it. This is the last of my content as I began this journey of trying to share the idea of the money flow, try to share the idea of you don't have to die broke with the idea of the science of getting rich and push this out. Maybe just change a few people. Maybe I die before I get a chance to do it and I never make it to video 17. That would suck, right? That's the uncertainty in which we live in. And that would have a ripple effect, right? And so because of that uncertainty in which we find ourselves, we have to be on this game, this idea, this concept of, hey, I need to get rich, man. I need to conduct myself in such a way where I could get rich. Or I need to position it. So if rich people have brokerage accounts, even if I don't have anything in my brokerage account, I need a brokerage account, right? I need the same tools, man. I need the same tools. I found in my real estate game that as I got the tools that I needed, my skill set tend to go up. Meaning you go get a subscription with, say, stock charts or one of the other online charting softwares, guess what? Your ability to analyze stocks just went up. Guess what's probably going to happen? Your skill set's going to go up. Guess what? Your potential to earn more money, what? Just went up. Why? Because now you can put your attention on it. You can see it and begin to develop a plan, right? And guess what? What you think about comes about. What you focus on grows, right? And so as you begin to get the tools lead to getting the skill set, which leads the mind, which leads to activity. And all of a sudden, you now have money invested in the stock market. That's how it works. Chapter 2 says there's a duplicatable process. Chapter 3 says, listen, is opportunity monopolized? No man or woman is kept poor because opportunity have been taken from him. Or because other people have monopolized the wealth and put a fence around it. You may be shut off from engaging in business in certain lines, but there are other channels open to you. He says there's another way, man. When you hit a wall, you got to smash through it, climb over it, or chip away at it. You got to smash through it, climb over it, or chip away at it. What did Nipsey Hussle talk about? 1 brick at a time, baby. Build it 1 brick at a time. Time times amount times yield. So whatever you're involved in, if it's flipping sneakers, there's an amount that you're going to be able to get to flip, right? And there's going to be a return or yield, and you begin to multiply them. And if I could do this 100 times in a shorter period of time, I'll make more money. And so everything becomes about time, amount, and yield, right? So I publish a newsletter. If I could come up with a formula figured out for every 1,000 people that opted into my newsletter, 22 of them would buy this, and of the 22, 8 would buy that, and 6 would buy this. I could begin to create a formula, and then I could say, okay, if I want to get to $1 million, if I want to sell $1 million in books, how do I do that? And he says, well, Gerald, you got to produce so many videos a week, you got to record, you got to work your email list, you got to talk, you got to post on Instagram, you got to respond to people, you got to do some advertising, you got to come up with some new things, and you got to push your intent into the universe. You got to push it. You got to do it every day. Same way you build your lawn care, your dry cleaners, your restaurant. You get up every day, and what you think about goes about, and what you focus on grows. What you live to do with your time over a period of time amount will produce what? Some sort of yield, some sort of return, barring natural disasters. So number 3 we see is what? No man is kept because of opportunity. Meaning anybody can do anything. You're going to have roadblocks, you're going to have setbacks, but that's part of it. Wind's kicking up character. It's part of building our character, building our skill sets, practicing. Repetition is the mother of skill, meaning we have to be about this every day. The way you become a great piano player is you play piano every day, right? I know that. Even the greats do it every day. The way Tiger Woods is he golfed every day. Michael Jordan took shots every day. And Stephen King wrote every day. So you say, I want to be a writer, then get about writing, baby. You need to be writing hours a day and editing and looking and researching and bam, 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 bam. So you want to trade. Trade. Right? So I was coming out with a new little course because I get asked all the time, Gerald, how do you set up your charts? And I said, listen, if you're a total noob, get this course. I'm going to take you through some videos and we're going to set up your charts. And then I just saved you a shit ton of time. And now you can get about the business of trying to find good stocks that are undervalued, put your money to work and get on it. And we can hack that part and just move on. You don't have to do like I did, spend 2 fucking years to learn this little setup. You just give me 40 bucks and boom, spend an hour with me and we got it. Now we can move on to something else. You could just accept what the fuck I show you and then move on. And that's we're allowed to do that as human beings. We can train ourselves, man. Remember when I said earlier about if you get the tools, so if I get the skill saw, I'm much more likely to start cutting boards, right? And as I cut boards, I'm probably going to get a little better at cutting boards. And as I paint houses and as I work on drywall and as I try to get in loans and as I talk to real estate agents and as I drive around looking for properties, as I do this over a period of time times amount, I start to get some sort of yield. And that equation of time times amount and yield is this book, The Science of Getting Rich. That's what You Don't Have to Die Broke is about. It's saying you, average people, just normal people, can go and take their time, their talent, their treasure, their money, and you can store it up, man. You can do the same thing the rich people are doing right now, even though you're not rich. And as you get the tool, you begin to do it more. As you begin to do things rich people do more, you begin to get closer to being rich. And so it becomes this self-fulfilling thing. This is what I mean by pushing your intent into the universe. So I had a podcast, over 1,000 people a day listen to my podcast. As stupid as that sounds. I know, it's just me talking and babbling, talking to my teachings. My interpretations of teachings, my interpretation of 20 years in the stock market, of buying real, like keeping my mind on those, being an entrepreneur, advertising, market, doing all that stuff, man. And I said, hey, I want to share this with people because it doesn't matter if you are a salesman at a job, they could fire you. And so your time, your talent, your treasure, your fucking energy, that is what you take and you store and you invest that. And anybody can do that, man. That's not reserved for the fucking mighty. Oceanfront property might be reserved for the mighty. Oceanfront property is reserved for the mighty, but not partial. The money flow is fractal, man. The game is fractal. You could buy 1 share, 10 shares, 100 shares, 1,000 shares, 10,000 shares, baby. Don't you think you're closer to getting a 10,000 if you bought 1 through the power of repetition? So we know opportunity is not monopolized. That's in chapter 3. So we have a right to be rich. We know there's a science of getting rich, and it's not monopolized. He takes us to chapter 4. Chapter 4 says the first principle in the science of getting rich. And this is it, baby. The first principle in my 10 pillars of success. Click my link, get to it somewhere, go down the fucking rabbit hole. You're going to see a thing I call the 10 pillars of success. Now these are beautiful. These are beautiful. The 10 pillars of success. Pillar number 1, how you think is everything. How you think is everything. Thought is the only power which can produce tangible riches from formless substance. This stuff from which all things are made is the substance which thinks. And a thought of form in this substance produces the form. A thought in this form. This is the place where prayers go. This is where people start to get confused because the book gets a little esoteric here. It's not, man. It's just flowery language. It's saying, listen, there's shit in this universe we can't explain. Some people call it God. Some people call it fate. Some people call it intervention. Whatever you want to call it, man. Whatever you want to call it, there's some shit. Even if you're a scientist or believe in God, there's shit you can't explain. And you may say, hey, I've just accepted this, but that's it. You've just decided because human beings have the ability to program themselves. And so you can choose what to believe. You could believe if I get into an airplane, fly into a building, kill a bunch of people, I'm going to go to heaven. That could be your belief. And people can do it because we can train ourselves. Don't believe me. Start practicing the piano every day. Go out and buy a piano. Every one of you, if you went and put $1,000 into a piano, and I wouldn't do that, but let's say you did. The very fact that you put $1,000 in makes you look at the fucking piano in your house, right? You're like, well, shit, I guess I'll hit it. And you sit down and you start hitting a few things. Dee, dee, dee. You're fucking with it. And you say, well, I spent $1,000 on a piano. I should learn to play it because it takes up a big space in my room. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And so you go and you say, well, I think I'll hire someone. I think I'll improve my skill set as fast as I can. I think I'll buy a course. I'll get a book. I'll look at a video. I'll go on YouTube. I'll do something to try to accelerate or hack my abilities here. And all of a sudden, the very fact that you bought a piano and put it into your house now has you in the process of acquiring skill set to play the piano. And that's exactly what investing is. It starts with one house and one stock and one fucking thought mindset. Thought is the only form which can produce tangible riches from formless substance. The stuff from which all things are made is the substance which thinks. And a thought in the form of this substance produces the form. We won't go in. That's one of my favorite chapters, man. What that is saying is the power of your mind to put things in motion. That a house starts with fucking plans first. The guy's got to have the thought of even having a house, and then he's got to go hire someone to draw up the blueprints, which then puts it on paper. Once it gets on paper, you've caused a fucking reaction in the universe that now you have to live to justify the shit you just put on paper. Or the gym you just joined, or the fucking brokerage account you just opened. You begin to obligate your success. So he says, well, I don't understand stocks. No shit, because you're not buying stocks. The very act of fucking buying them, you begin to understand them. He says, well, I don't know how real estate. No kidding, you don't own any. So the way you get to playing a fucking piano is go buy a piano and put it in your living room. And I guarantee you, you'll be one step closer to being a good piano player. It pushes something inside of you. It causes a reaction, and it pushes you into the universe. I call that obligating, falling forward fast. You have no choice but to fall forward, man. Thought. In chapter 5 is where I opened with a minute ago with this idea that you must get rid of the last vestige of an old idea that there is a deity that will be served by keeping you in poverty. Sorry. Intelligent substance, which is all and in all, which lives in all, lives in you, and is a consciously living being, meaning there's fucking power inside of you to tap into the universal collective that you fulfill a prayer of someone else, or you are thinking about opening a restaurant and bump into a person who's got a lead, who knows a person who's selling a building, or someone who needs a partner, or whatever. And that chain, those are the things you can't explain, but they happen because you start the process. And so as you buy one stock, you're more likely to buy two. And if you buy two, you're more likely to buy five. And the Bible says very fucking clearly that more attracts more. It is a universal principle. More attracts more. Jesus himself said that those who have will get more. And those who have not, what they have will be taken. Because it's inside of earth, the green, to grow, to get bigger. If I cut that down, if I cut all of this down, what do you think happens? Does it go to fucking therapy? Does it need a counselor to come back? Does it need to go do something? No, it comes back bigger and greener. It is a universal principle. It is. Lions are lions. The eagle flies. He doesn't say, hey, why can't I walk like the lion? He's comfortable in his own skin. Only we are uncomfortable in our own skin. Only we go, man, I wonder what my purpose is. I wonder what I'm supposed to do. You're supposed to grow richer every day. Mentally, physically, what? Spiritually. You're to grow richer. Not just in money, in mindset. In relationships, in contacts with friends and loved ones. You should grow richer in all aspects. Your natural state should be expansion. That's where you should be comfortable. In expansion. You should be uncomfortable in non-expansion. You should be uncomfortable going backwards. You should be uncomfortable owing other people. Other people should owe you. How about that? You should be uncomfortable paying interest unless it's a calculated reason. You should be collecting interest. You get on the other side of the transaction. You tell who goes on what shift. You don't get told what shift you're on. And you begin to change. And you begin to control your environment. You come back greener. Cut me down. Fucking dare you. Cut me down. When you take on that, it don't look so scary. Samurais went in battle because samurais are already dead. Meaning they fight with two swords on the offense because they already died. What are you going to do? Kill them? You can't take from them what they give away. You always get to keep what you give away. You ever hear me say that? That's why I began to teach my books for free. I own them forever. Already put it in the ether. It's in that place, that living place. Original substance moves according to its thoughts. Every form and process you see in nature is the visible expression of original substance. As formless substance thinks, it takes that form. Whew, we're getting pounded. Thinking in the form of a slow-growing oak tree, it moves accordingly in the process of a tree. Through centuries, those centuries may be required to do the lines of motion it has established. The thought of an oak tree does not cause the instant formation of a full-grown oak tree, but it does start in motion the forces which will produce the oak tree, long established in lines of growth. In other words, what he said in the beginning is you have a right to be rich, period. No matter what anyone else tells you, you have a right to be rich. And that if you so choose to accept that right, there is a path, there is a formula, there is a duplicatable fucking process that people have been using for thousands of years. He then goes into this idea that, listen, you might think shit's unfair in life. Maybe someone's pushing against you. You weren't born as pretty, as tall, as fast. You're not as smart. You don't have as much. Don't give a fuck. Cut this forest down. Even the weak trees come back. The weakest fucking trees in that forest come back. Probably come back stronger. Because the strong ones are killing the weak ones. That's how nature works. Oceanside property is reserved for the mighty. You have to go get it. They're not going to bring it to you. They're not going to bring you a promotion. They're not going to bring you a book deal. They're not going to sign your album. They're not going to invite you to play in the fucking PGA. They're not going to invite you to play. You have to go get it. You have to wake up with intent of mind and focus. What you think about comes about, and what you focus on grows. You go get it. Or don't. Because you have the option to sit on the fucking couch and play Zelda. That is a fucking option in this country. And you could do that. Or you could go launch a fucking website. Or create an app. Or start a business or a delivery service. Or change the fucking world. Or I don't know, go help someone else. Go paint. Instead of sit on your fucking ass doing nothing, why don't you go paint an old lady's house and learn how to fucking do something? I get this all the time. People say, Gerald, I'd like to come work for you for free. Then go work for fucking free. There's, I mean, old people need their house painted. Go fucking paint it. And I'm sure if you do a bad job, they won't mind. Fuck out of here. Now, what they're trying to do is hack, man. Act like they're doing you a favor. I'm not doing you a favor. Trying to shortcut. There's a plenty of places you could go work free and learn. You want to learn? Here's a way to learn. Go work on fucking construction crew. Hey, I'd like to work here. Guess what you're going to learn? Construction. Guess how they build a house? Construction. I went down and looked, put in my name on a list at my 2-year university, and they sent me back a thing. 4 classes for 2 months on framing, working on houses and construction. I can just go take a class on this. The guy says, how'd you learn to work on a property? I don't know. How the fuck do people go to college? They look, they listen, they read. You know how I learned? I decided to fucking do it. I woke up one day and said, I think I'm going to do this tomorrow. And I went and did it. And I looked for someone to go and give me I need a 1-year meditation before I transition. Just go do it. No, I need a buffer. I need someone talking to me, and I need a buffer because I know I got it in me. Then just go do it. See, when you order the piano and put it in your fucking living room, you're one step closer to being a piano player. You say, well, I don't want to order it yet. I don't know how to play. I know. That's why you can't play, because you won't order it yet. Come on, man. Man, I wish I had your body. I wish I had your mind. I wish I had your money. I'd be rich. Wish I had your abilities. I wish I was as smart as you. I'd have more courses. Wish I was as strong as some of you. I'd work even harder. I wish I was as pretty as some of you so doors would get open for me. I wish I had it easy. But in my experiences, the lion doesn't have it easy because there's forces and things in the jungle looking to take his hot pride. You think it comes easy. You think the lion on the couch playing Zelda has a pride? No. No. He's on the outside looking in. We got to get rid of the idea that there's a system or a God or anything against us, that what stands against us is our own activities, our own limited mindset, and our own belief systems. That's what stands between me. You know how I know? There's people that have watched videos of mine for 2 years, still haven't read my free ebook. Too fucking busy. Still broke. 2 years you've been watching me. You're still broke. If you'd have read that a year ago and did exactly what the fuck I said, you would have so much more money right now. I bet there's I bet there's 500 people watching this right now. And I'm telling you this, and you know it's true, that you dicked off the last entire year. Just fucking blew COVID. Sat on your ass playing video games. Didn't create shit. Didn't make shit. Didn't push shit. Didn't get smarter. You don't own any more stocks. You don't own any more crypto. No more land. Your business isn't doing any better. You're not in any better shape. You've literally took a year and just fucked it off. Nobody knows who you are. You haven't helped anyone. You haven't put any money into charity. You haven't done shit. And now you find yourself at this video and you're still looking in, like from the outside looking in. And maybe you're like, oh man, if a guy like this could mentor me. What if you could mentor you? What if you could do that? Because see, what I've found in life is when you get up to go do it, it kind of meets you at the door. And the mentors just kind of show up. And the people that I needed in my life showed up because of actions that I took. It's funny to me how many people talk to me about real estate. You can buy it on your thumbs now. You can do fractional investing through online platforms and all kinds of stuff. It always amazes me how many people I meet, they don't have any money in that. Or they're like, man, I really want to get into real estate and stocks. And I'm like, really? Because that takes fucking capital, money. How much money do you have? Well, then stop saying that's what you want to do if you're not living to actually fucking do that. Because it starts with fucking capital. So you have to go get money. And so if you've had one fucking day off where you sat making no money, then maybe you really don't want to do the shit you're saying. This is why I don't bring people here and like do the thing like, could you work? No, man. Because you haven't done the one fucking thing you should have already done. Built up capital. Because that is step fucking one. You have to buy a piano. You have to buy a weight set. You have to buy a fucking guitar. You have to get golf clubs. You have to buy podcasting equipment. You have to rent charting software. Some of you guys send me your charting software and you're still using the free shit. What in the fuck are we talking about? And so then you're like, Gerald, I really want to do this stock. Bullshit. You don't even have a fucking skill saw. So don't tell me you want to work on houses. Ooh, now we're getting down to it. Yeah, that means step up your fucking game before you email me, before you tell me a bunch of bullshit. Be living the shit you're saying. So what does that mean? It means you need to talk as if and go as though. You're going to have the rich man's thought before you become the rich man. In other words, stocks don't show up in your mythical made up fucking brokerage account. They show up in real ones that you opened and that you transferred money to. That's how money gets in your stocks. You know that, right? And so you start that process. So you can't say, oh, I really want to do something. If all it takes is some fucking clicks and you're not doing that, you don't really want to do something. Not enough to actually take action. Because all of that easy shit should be over. You should do that out of interest. You should have the account open out of interest. You should have charts out of interest. How could you not have charting software and be fucking interested? Right? So how could you be interested in remodeling a house and you have no fucking tools? That's not an interest. That's a passerby. That's a fucking tourist. That's a looky-loo. That's not a person who's serious yet. Oh, man. Time times amount times yield. We have to bring all that shit in, right? Come on, man. Let's get this week going. Okay. That's it, man. I've been babbling too long. First 5 chapters, we're going to start in step number 6. In the next email, step number 6 in the 17steps.com. Look, this shit is free. Send it to your friends. You know, I'm probably going to hit you for something at the end. If you're trading stocks, I got a pre-order coming This is not my book. This is setting up your charts. That's it, right? A couple videos with me, probably be about an hour of just setting up your charts. You only need to learn it one time. Once you learn it, I'm gonna save you some time. You're gonna have your shit set up right. You're gonna be looking at things right. It's like I'm coming in helping you set up your work table at the remodel. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. It's super simple. This is the basic. You gotta get this right. If you have this wrong, then fucking everything else that I'm talking about is just, it doesn't make any sense, right? This is the screwdriver, the tool, what we need in the toolbox. So that's what this is. It's on pre-order. It's $40 if you want that. If you're into the stock market, get it. You help support me. If not, that's cool too. I'm gonna make it 47 after the pre-launch, pre-order. I'm still working on it. So anybody does that, I would appreciate it. And next step, it's hot as hell out here, bro. We'll start on chapter number 6, how riches come to you. This is where the book really gets good. Now we're going to get down to the nitty gritty of how to get that money, how to begin attracting it to ourselves, man. God bless.